trust. She wake, 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 and oceans we wake. Oh my heart trust. She wake, 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 and oceans we wake. Oh yeah. Lord, Lord, Lord. Right. The big party and all the people celebrating, happy and so jolly, celebrating the big party. East, west, north, and south. They coming from all about. When the people working together, they joining hand in hand. Love, peace, and unity all over Andros land. Oh my Andros. She wake, 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 Andros and she wake. Oh my Andros. She wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake. Oceans we wake. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Central Andros.
Tonight, a teen is fighting for his life after being struck by a vehicle. We've got that story coming up. Also, the Junkanoo drama continues as an audit is being ordered for the JCMP. And later, PLP candidate hopefuls appear before the selection committee. The party's leader says he's pleased with the process. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Relatives are fighting back tears as they hope their loved one get back on his feet to continue his athletic dreams. This following a devastating crash. Our Jose Etienne joining me live in studio tonight to discuss. Jose?
Well, Janine, 15-year-old Brent McPhee, an R.M. Bailey student with basketball dreams, as you've said, is battling for survival in the intensive care unit tonight after he was struck by a vehicle on Tuesday night. And it's really a frightening reality for a family who hoped that the worst was behind them after coping with a few deaths in their family.
My child shouldn't be, and all I can do is pray. God, get my child.
Deandra Smith's face etched with grief tonight as she hopes her firstborn child pulls through after a vehicular accident on Prince Charles Drive that nearly snuffed his life.
Couldn't move there, I'm tied on and everything. He had all swell out. Foot break, hand break, jaw break.
Just before the life-threatening incident, Brent was on a hustle to secure his spot on a basketball trip that's just 2 weeks away on a family island.
Brent just was going away on the 24th of this month to play basketball. And I don't like that. That hurt me.
He's a go-get on. He ain't thieving, he ain't robbing. He was out there sponsoring for his trip. That's why he's out there and he's waiting on his ride. He did not know ride, so he ended up calling one of his friends who's play ball, and his friend come for him on a bike.
Now, we made attempts to reach police officials to get clarity on this incident, given mounting speculation that the driver allegedly fled the scene and didn't reach out, a claim that individuals reportedly rejected outrightly. Now, we're still awaiting clarity from authorities, but for now, a blood drive is being organized as young Brent remains in critical conditions. Donations can be made at the blood bank in Centerville, and we're certainly wishing him a speedy recovery. Janelle?
Thanks so much, our Jose Etienne joining us live in studio tonight. Well, some wicked weather today and for the weekend. In the northern Bahamas, residents can expect some heavy showers. Meteorologist Jeffrey Simmons says residents can prepare for periods of heavy rain, possible localized flooding and wind this long holiday weekend. This follows last week's downpour of rain that left several pockets of New Providence and other islands flooded.
That had a lot of flooding, and then another heavy downpour happening as we speak right now. This one is spreading, and we expect for these what's going on right now to last for the next hour or two, and then we see some clearing later this afternoon. Later tonight, that is, sorry. Well, it's going to hang around for the weekend. We expect some low to develop just to the east, sorry, west of us. And so the shower that we having, we're going to have it for the rest of the weekend. Heavy at times, and light at times, but then on weeks, you see some clearing going into Sunday and Monday. Yeah, honestly, yeah, especially with all these sun activities, there could also be some water spouts and stuff out there that they may need to be on the lookout for.
Well, the chaos before Bay continuing as government announced its intent to launch a formal investigation into the JCMP following explosive allegations that millions of dollars may have been lost due to officials and their decisions. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the latest tonight.
I found some very interesting things, and investigation is continuing on. What I will say is I will be calling for an audit.
Striking allegations of government costing the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence nearly $1 million in losses and damages after stripping the independent body of upcoming major parades management. Government is now announcing every penny will be accounted for. Eyewitness News posing the question to JCNP's chairman, Dion Miller, regarding the organization finances and if they are confident in an audit.
JCMP, we conduct our audits every year, and we can produce our audits to the public. And I will get back to the public in short order and show them every single audit that the JCNP produces.
In a statement on Monday, the JCNP noted contracts with title sponsor, a live and event partnership with Commonwealth Brewery for the Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades could be at stake due to management shift, totaling some $710,000. Officials taking a shot at the JCNP as Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, claimed the organization has no valid license to be negotiating contracts.
And that ain't for 1 year or 2 years. That's for a couple years. I will leave that right there.
Business license for this cycle was done, I think, in May.
Now to that, government noted companies are still on board. Following a meeting with stakeholders, Miller makes it clear that he perceives movements by authorities are nothing short of intimidation tactics.
We are actually seeing the government of the Bahamas bully and try to victimize an entity because they don't agree with the entity.
But is reconciliation off the table?
I have nothing against them. What the JCMP needs to do now is gain the trust back from the groups to come back under them. And if the groups say to me tomorrow, all of us want to go under the JCMP will be managing the parade.
Now, Eyewitness News understands that the audit is expected to get underway within the coming days. However, no timeline on when those findings will be made public. JCNP officials say they're still calling on government to reverse their decision. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Cultural officials also defending their decision to deny the JCMP permission to host a unified Junkanoo practice event as a result of the National Youth March. In a statement, JCMP officials expressing their disappointment, noting that despite full compliance with all official requirements and numerous attempts to collaborate in good faith, the JCMP was again denied permission to host a unified Junkanoo practice, even after fulfilling every obligation, they claimed. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Boleg says from his view, the day is all about the future generation.
The Sunday is Youth Month, Youth March. According to my director of youth, none of the Junkanoo groups were invited to participate in the Youth March. And that's for various reasons, based on some things that happened in the past. This is all about youth. The young people will be marching. These facilities are secured from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Those marches will start at 2 p.m. They normally take but 5 hours for the march when you look at from start to finish to get from the starting point, which is this facility, to go on the route, to come back from the first man to the last man, and for the clearance of these young people.
Well, JCMP officials adding that they agreed to begin practice only after the Youth March concluded and even proposed moving to another day on Monday when no events were scheduled. Each time they claimed the answer was still no. Boleg reaffirming that the decision was made out of fairness and integrity.
From the first man to the last man, and for the clearance of these young people. I don't intend to have any adults or any alcohol or anything being held on these premises around these young people. Anything can happen. It will have to happen after they would have come, complete, and leave.
While political activity intensifying in the Progressive Liberal Party tonight, as Prime Minister Philip Davis appears to be ecstatic about the number of political aspirants who appeared before the party's candidate selection committee on Thursday night. His comments come as talks of a looming election ramp up, even as the PLP begins the process of assessing those who are expressing interest in frontline politics.
How did last night go?
As I expected.
How many people were before the candidates committee last night?
But we had about eight persons.
And what do you think it says about the party that caliber of people want to step forward?
It says that we have regained the trust and confidence of the Bahamian people. People are anxious to be a part of us. I welcome it. And it tells us that our democracy is still alive and well.
Incumbent MP for Seabreeze, Leslie Miller Bryce, confirming her ratification following last night's meeting. In a Facebook post, she shared that she was officially confirmed by party officials as a candidate for the Seabreeze constituency in the upcoming general election, adding that having had the privilege to serve for the last 4 years, she's excited to continue the journey together and work tirelessly for a brighter future for their community. Still talking news from politics tonight, the Island Lux CEO, Sebastian, also appearing before the candidates committee yesterday. Following that process, he shared his view as he says he remains hopeful that he will get the party's nod for the Fort Charlotte constituency.
Process was very well thought out. They had a lot of great questions, and it shed a lot of light on the process. I want to thank the candidates committee for having such a good, organized, transparent process. Certainly, they didn't spare anything, and I'm just happy that I have it behind me now. I think it's evident from the support out here that the choice should be clear, but even if I'm not selected, I would still support whoever is. He's going to be selected. It's a very humbling experience. I'm here to represent them, and listen, Fort Charlotte, we get higher.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard lashing out at the Davis administration tonight over its plans to proceed with building a new hospital just across the Stapleton Gardens community, despite mounting opposition from residents there in the neighboring Fort Charlotte areas. Now, what's especially concerning, the opposition leader says that government is, in his view, more concerned about building new healthcare facilities while the existing ones remain in a crippling state.
When you looked at the flooding of, let's say, Papal Track, for example, they said this is proof positive that there isn't a plan to address the drainage situation, and any new development is only going to make it worse. But the real question is this: how does the government justify a $300 million loan that it is taking out in order to create a specialty hospital? Now, the principal areas that will be served by this hospital, we need them. Maternal, dealing with pediatric issues, all of those are important. But there is an existing hospital that right now the government has not been able in all areas, including dealing with maternal matters or pediatric issues. They've not been able to equip with the amount of staff. We have close to 400 nurses short in the public health system. They've not been able to put in the equipment that is required. We have a shortage of equipment, particularly diagnostic equipment. We have a shortage of various allied health professionals. So how do you explain that you are taking out a loan for a $300 million new hospital when you cannot properly manage the existing hospital? And worse, you're not just doing it in Nassau, you're doing it in Grand Bahama.
Meantime, concerned residents have launched a petition titled Protect Papal Track and the Surrounding Areas, Our Environment Matters. It currently has some 93 digital signatures at the time of this newscast. During the recent tropical storm Imelda, many Grove West homeowners suffered severe flood damage, wading through water contaminated, they say, and fearing for their family's health. Now, they say that experience highlights why placing a major facility in another flood-prone zone could have some serious consequences, not just for the hospital, but nearby communities as well. Grove West Association President Barbara Hepburn says residents fully support improved healthcare access, but believe the proposed site poses major environmental and safety risk.
Well, that is to bring awareness to the people. I think we realize we perhaps cannot stop it, but it's to bring awareness to the people so they will know what it is we are fighting. Because a lot of people just see, oh, it's a grand hospital, it's something we need, and we know that. But we still want to bring awareness that it's not the right place for it and the effect it will have on the surrounding community. So we want the wider public to understand what it is we are fighting. They had the town planning meeting the other night, but a lot of people were not in attendance. A lot of people, not even sure what's going on. So the petition is to bring awareness as to they're pushing this hospital in the wrong place and they're ignoring the cries of the surrounding areas.
Now, the association says alternative sites should be considered for the new hospital locations that provide the same healthcare access without increasing environmental risks. They're calling on government to consult meaningfully with residents, carry out thorough environmental impact assessments, and select a site that they say balances public health needs with environmental responsibility. Well, in relation to this matter,
addressing what will happen to the surrounding areas, where the water will flow once they build the hospital up to avoid flooding on that site. But when they build up on that site, the water will now come into the communities. So one, it's the flooding issue. Two, we feel that although we understand the need for such a hospital, but I do not think they gave much thought into where to put it. It seems a mystery why they're pushing it for there. There are other areas that's more centrally located. I don't know if they look at the area by the sports center that was recently cleared down that is more central for New Providence.
In relation to that matter, Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you believe government properly assessed the environmental risks like flooding and contamination before choosing the site for the new hospital? Well, some 6% of participants voted yes. They concluded proper investigations. 83% voted no, and some 11% say that they were unsure and more information is needed. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls because your voice matters. Meantime, a 15-year-old boy allegedly struck another teen with a tree branch in retaliation for a knife attack. Earlier in the day, a magistrate's court was told yesterday. Prosecutors claiming that the first teen was injured in a stabbing on Apple Street and that the second boy later confronted and assaulted his alleged attacker with a tree branch on Verbena Street. Both minors, whose identities are being withheld due to age, appeared before Senior Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. on September 25th. They were formally charged with assault with dangerous instruments and causing harm. The teens were accompanied by their guardians, both pleading not guilty to the charges and were granted bail. Their police bail also being extended, and the court imposed a daily curfew from 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. until the matter is heard. The trial is scheduled to begin on November 20th. Attorney Mark Penn representing one of the accused, while Sergeant Forbes is prosecuting the case. Well, two Haitian men who were remanded to prison yesterday in connection with a $7.8 million cocaine seizure on Cat Island last week. Prosecutors allege that 42-year-old Joel Alfred, also known as Alfred Joel, and 37-year-old Fredson Frederick, also known as Frederick Fredson, were discovered hiding in bushes in the McQueen area of Cat Island around 6 p.m. on October 4th. Authorities reportedly found them with 920 pounds of cocaine, carrying an estimated street value of $7.8 million. The pair appearing before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims, where they both pleaded not guilty to charges of possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. Prosecutor Sergeant Wilkinson opposed bail, citing the defendants' lack of legal status in the Bahamas and labeling them as a flight risk. Magistrate Wims agreeing with the prosecution's concern, ordering both men to be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services until their trial date scheduled for December 5th of next year. Still talking news from the courts tonight, a 41-year-old father now facing criminal charges after allegedly going too far in disciplining his 10-year-old son for receiving a poor grade. The man, whose identity is being withheld, pleaded guilty on Thursday to a charge of cruelty to children during his arraignment before Magistrate Abigail Farrington. The incident occurring on October 7th, just before the boy, a fourth grade student at a private school here in New Providence, left for class, according to reports. A teacher became concerned when she noticed the child was struggling to stand properly during recitation of the morning pledge. Upon speaking with him, he revealed that his father had beat him. Visible bruises were observed on the boy's forearm, prompting further investigation. In court, the father explained that he had repeatedly been contacted by the school regarding the son's academic struggles, which led to his actions. Magistrate Farrington has ordered a social inquiry report ahead of sentencing, which is scheduled for December 10th. The father has been released on his own recognizance in the meantime. Well, tonight, local activist Candy Gibson expressing concern tonight that residents' lives are stuck in limbo due to the process, which she says doesn't clear them of any wrongdoing after being questioned by police. She's claiming tonight that such individuals are finding it difficult to gain employment, a reality she says cannot be ignored as the country continues to struggle with social issues such as crime and the high cost of living.
Any one of us can be arrested and can be brought into the police station for questioning in reference to any matter. I personally feel there should be a statute of limitation. If you bring Candy Gibson in and she is brought in to help you assist or whatever question for matter, 3 to 6 months later, if she's not being charged, it should be something in the system stating Candy Gibson was brought into the station to assist with this matter. Upon our due investigation, she has no knowledge of the matter, and she is deemed to be a good citizen in our society, and she is eligible for whatever position she chooses to apply for, whatever, or she's eligible for whatever criteria she wants. And then a year or two later, and if you see that she's not being brought in for nothing else, she's not even being charged with matter, then go in the system and clarify her, redeem her. You understand me? And persons are not being gainfully employed because the vetting, a man is innocent until proven guilty. And if you have not charged a man, how can his vetting process prohibit him from getting gainfully employed?
Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eyewitness hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. But when we come back, 18 Haitian nationals fined and convicted in court. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, youth leaders, they have a discussion, a much needed one, on mental health. We've got more on that right after this break.
Hello, bonjour, hola, hello, ciao. No matter where your passport takes you, BTC roaming keeps you effortlessly connected. Enjoy seamless calls, lightning-fast data, and affordable roaming across the globe. No SIM swaps, no stress. Just one network, working everywhere. So go ahead, explore the world, and still be just a call away from home.
Fill up box for all $30.
The new KFC Fill-Up Box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This National Heroes Day, elevate your home with timeless beauty from Grand Bahama Tiles. For 2 days only, Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th, enjoy 20% off store-wide. Discover elegant porcelain, timeless ceramic, and durable natural stone, perfect for every area of your home. Celebrate savings that last a lifetime, only at Grand Bahama Tiles.
Squad and Zone 4 present Keisha Cole performing live Saturday, October 11th at Nassau's Cruise Port. Keisha Cole performing live at the Nassau Cruise Port. $75 general admission, and log on DonJulioEvents.com for more information about VIP, table service, and skybox. Keisha Cole, October 11th, Nassau Cruise Port. Security strictly enforced. Keisha Cole performing live at Nassau Cruise Port. Cruise Port.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. $5.48 at both Esso and Rubis tonight. You're getting gas for $5.49 at your local Shell. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. While 18 Haitian nationals appearing before Senior Magistrate Cara Turnquestable on October 9th convicted of overstaying a legal landing and misleading an immigration officer, they were fined between $300 and $3,000 and sentenced to 4 to 18 months at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. And also on October 7th, 16 Haitian men and 1 Trinidadian woman also convicted on similar charges and giving fines and sentences ranging from 4 months to 1 year. Now, all were ordered to be turned over to immigration officials for deportation after paying fines or completing their sentences. Meantime, between October 3rd and 9th, 22 foreign nationals were deported from New Providence, including 19 Haitians, 1 Cuban, 1 Jamaican, and 1 Spaniard. Well, Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, he's once again sounding the alarm on a persistent crisis. The shortage of nurses, a problem he says is not unique to the Bahamas, but one that the government is actively trying to fix, he says.
Shortage of healthcare staff is not only exclusive to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, it's global. Coming out of the pandemic, many countries found themselves deficient in the delivery of healthcare systems because of limited staff. What I've been doing for the last 4 years, I've been recruiting and I've been training locally and I've been training internationally to address the challenges that we currently face. And so by way of UB for our nursing and by way of recruitment from abroad, we are now filling these gaps and we're beginning to stabilize, but we still have some labor issues and some shortages of staff in the system. And we're finding innovative ways on how to address them.
Darville says while physical work has yet to begin on the Western Healthcare Facility, the project is moving forward behind the scenes as conversations are being held.
Well, you know, we said that as soon as possible and when we reach the final agreements, we will begin to break ground on that project. A couple days ago, we had the Ministry of Works from the town planning committee. We had a meeting and we addressed why we believe the hospital is absolutely essential. And once we get that final document, we will begin to proceed and begin now to put shovel in the ground for that facility.
Well, today marks World Mental Health Day, and in the spirit of awareness and advocacy, youth organizations are taking the lead. Students from St. John's College and St. Anne's School coming together for a much-needed dialogue on mental health. Our Delano Roker has this story tonight.
Inside the St. John's College auditorium, conversations that are often avoided were brought to the forefront. Organized by the National Youth Ambassadors Corps and the National Youth Assembly of the Bahamas, and held under the guidance of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, holding the second National Youth Forum on Mental Health and Suicidality, centered on discussing action solutions to tackle the rising numbers of suicides and attempted suicides, shares President of the Youth Senate, Tizelle Lightburn.
So according to the 2023 Global School Health Survey, 1 in 5 students have thought about attempting suicide. About 1 in 4 have made a plan, and then 1 in 4 have attempted. And so it was really critical when you think about the numbers and what that reflects as in the society to speak about it and then create actionable solutions.
A wide range of mental health topics were addressed by a diverse panel of professionals, from psychologists to youth counselors. Among them, Youth Ambassador Amber Turner, who emphasize a growing and often overlooked connection, the link between climate change and mental health.
There's a term called climate doom, right? And climate anxiety. So when we see the impacts of climate change rising, so the intensifying storms, the flooding, the loss of life, people tend to exhibit symptoms of anxiety because of these impacts. And so one aspect of assessing your mental health when we think about climate change is just making sure that we understand where we can get our resources from, understand that everyone is somewhat dealing with the same challenges, and people are there to help and walk you through these challenges.
A subject too often shrouded in silence, the rising rates of male suicides. For St. John's student Caden Cartwright, more dialogue is required.
For it to be an abundance of men just goes to show you how much stress that we deal with, and whether it's because of foolish decisions that we make or outside factors that affect our lives. It just goes to show you how affected we are as men and how unsuccessful we are at bringing awareness to the fact that we as a society need to prioritize our men's mental health as well.
From open discussions to calls for peer support, the forum encouraged students to become mental health advocates in their own schools and communities. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
In other news, CEO of Bahamas Power and Light, Tony Seymour, energizing the next generation at the British Colonial Hotel, where young bright minds attended the inaugural 2025 NTI Future Energy Leaders Forum. Her remarks sparking inspiration among dozens of students from across the Bahamas to become the next generation of innovators, problem solvers, and power players shaping the nation's energy future.
As we transition to our new energy era, we're moving away from conventional generation into more renewable types of energy. And so while the conventional generation will still exist, so the need for the mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, environmentalists, but there's also the need for the environmental specialists, the people that are going to do the environmental impact assessments, who are going to do, the soil studies and that sort of thing, people who can maintain the battery energy storage systems and the solar farms. So at this point, I think these group of students coming out of high school now, they have the opportunity to basically expand their minds, and they can choose their future. They can plan from now, like which aspect of this industry would I want to work in.
Seymour is also highlighting BPL's ongoing transformation, the vital role young people will play in shaping a cleaner, smarter, and more sustainable energy future for the Bahamas, and the vast career options available to future leaders.
The future is so bright for this generation. I'm just excited to be a part of that and to share some of my experiences as a high school student and encourage them, to continue to learn, to not limit yourself, and that failure is not final. It's a lesson learned, and you bounce back, you move on, and you build back better. It's a learning process. There are setbacks, there are challenges, there are obstacles, but don't give up, don't get frustrated. There are days when you're going to want to quit. There are days when you just feel like the whole world is against you, but you have to keep pushing through. You have to persevere. You have to be persistent.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Brief takes Eco School's message to students across the country. We've got that story coming up, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Squad and Zone 4 4 present Keisha Cole performing live Saturday, October 11th at Nassau's Cruise Port. Keisha Cole performing live at the Nassau Cruise Port. $75 general admission, and log on DonJulioEvents.com for more information about VIP, table service, and skybox. Keisha Cole, October 11th, Nassau Cruise Port. Security strictly enforced. Keisha Cole performing live at Nassau Cruise Port. Cruise Port.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate-controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, continuing the fight against climate change and environmental pollution and strengthening education around sustainability, the Bahamas Brief Environmental Education Foundation, or BRIEF, is taking the message straight to the next generation. Today, the foundation hosting a 2-day Echo Schools Bahamas event, bringing together students and educators from across the country. Executive Director Kasarina McKinney-Lambert says more than 60 participants from 37 schools across 6 different islands are taking part. The aim is to support eco schools while addressing environmental themes such as energy use, waste reduction, biodiversity, ocean and coastal conservation, and empowering students to take environmental action in their communities.
The first day of the workshop is taking place at the New Providence Community Center, and the second day is a public snorkel that's open to anyone, and it's going to take place at the Sea Beach Promenade from 9 until 12 on Saturday morning. It is absolutely essential to support the young people who are really taking on this challenge of this world that older people are leaving for them. It's inspiring to see young people stepping up and making their voices heard, drawing attention to some of the challenges that we're facing, and proposing solutions and implementing solutions.
Well, from climate change literacy to hands-on conservation projects, today's meeting is building a community of young environmental stewards for students of St. John's College. They say it's personal.
The initiative that we started inside St. John's was where we made more students involved in our greenhouse. So we would engage them inside the other clubs in collaboration with other clubs to make it one goal for everybody. So we would try and get the Key Club involved and Agriculture Club and all of the above. So it was really trying to get them to understand that we have one goal and we can work together to accomplish it.
It means, for me personally, doing my part and encouraging others to do theirs. So in our Eco Club specifically, we have Lights Out initiatives where we encourage students and teachers to only use electricity where necessary. So this helps with the fight against climate change because electricity's relation to gas use relation to air pollution, and air pollution relation to climate change.
Well, so to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports right after this break.
This National Heroes Day, elevate your home with timeless beauty from Grand Bahama Tiles. For 2 days only, Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th, enjoy 20% off store-wide. Discover elegant porcelain, timeless ceramic, and durable natural stone, perfect for every area of your home. Celebrate savings that last a lifetime, only at Grand Bahama Tiles.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us.
EV Motors, in partnership with John McEnroe Tennis Center at Bahamas, are serving up something special, the first ever EV Motors tennis tournament. 30 teams are set to compete in the inaugural event, blending fierce competition with community spirit. Byron McCartney, Director of Enterprise Sales at EV Motors, says the tournament reflects the company's passion for performance both on the court and on the road.
So this event for us is not only just an event, but this is basically a commitment to sustainability in the country. It's a commitment to the sport and environment here in the country. It's a commitment to sports and also investing in the local talent here in the country.
On Friday, EV Motors hosted a press conference at Bahamas, welcoming the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, along with Director of Rackets at the resort, Duran Donaldson, sponsors and other special guests.
To say special thank you and appreciation to EV Motors and Bahamas for coming together to put on such an event that will continue to provide safe space for our young, not too young, to play tennis and have fun.
It's truly exciting to see this vision come to life, blending sport and innovation and community right here at our home of tennis in the Bahamas. This event reflects exactly what Bahamas stands for: excellence, collaboration, and a shared passion for progress.
The highlight of the weekend, the grand reveal of the tournament's top prize, a brand new Jator X70 Plus. The event will also see teams from some of the nation's top organizers hitting the court, among them AID, Better Homes and Gardens, Soundcrate, Bahama Pure Water and Ice, Sign Island, Bank of the Bahamas, Assure Win, and DigiPrint and Sign. Well, definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports and our social media page from all of the highlights from the tournament that kicks off on October 11th at 8 a.m. On to news from the gymnastic mat. The Bahamas Gymnastic Federation has named the 35-member team set to represent the country at the 2025 Caribbean Games in Trinidad and Tobago this December. The athletes were selected following weeks of intense training sessions and clinics. The national team featured gymnasts from several local clubs, including Airborne Gymnastic and Fitness, Bahamas Star Gymnastic, and Paradise Gymnastic Academy in Nassau, along with Island Dance and Gymnastics out of Spanish Wells, Eleuthera. The Bahamas will compete from December 5th to the 7th. The Federation says it's proud of the athletes' hard work and continues to push for growth in the sport. Also announcing that 8 Bahamians have been registered for the FIG International Judges Course and exam. Well, best of luck to Team Bahamas from us here at Eyewitness Sports.
Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast. Your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Friday. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller. She's talking politics with her panel. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this, a show you don't want to miss. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Wall saying good night, be safe, and have a great holiday weekend, everyone.
But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Sabas makes a big impression as the candidates committee recommended him as the candidate for Fort Charlotte. His resume is known around the country and beyond, but if ratified, what kind of MP is he likely to be? Also tonight, the PLP rolls out a list of incumbents last night. Are any of them a surprise to you? Also, it's Week in Review Fridays. On Wednesday of this week, the union sent a very strong message, but Prime Minister Davis made the strongest impression, according to many observers. And Opposition leader Michael Pintard says, stop the spending and the charades, as he dares the Prime Minister to call for a general election. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening, I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, Island Luck CEO Sabas Bastian confirming that he is prepared to step down as head of the company he co-founded if ratified to run for the Fort Charlotte constituency on the PLP's ticket. His comments came following his appearance before the selection committee. We get this story from Linton Ritchie Jr., and then we come back and take a look at what happened on Wednesday.
Not worried about that. To step down like this? Absolutely. That's a done deal. Without politics, I will step down.
Gaming boss, CEO of Island Luck, Sebastian Bastian, revealing that he's willing to step down. This response came following his appearance before the PLP's candidate selection committee at the party's headquarters, if it means furthering his political aspirations.
I have over 20 companies and I'm only the CEO of one. I didn't build my businesses by myself. I have more than competent teams to try continuity in those businesses. I'm here to serve. I have a higher purpose now.
Bastian was greeted with swarms of Fort Charlotte residents as he stated his case to PLP executives and hopes to be the face of the party's banner in that constituency ahead of the upcoming general election. Residents and executives of the PLP's Fort Charlotte branch emphasizing that behind them is a man who they say, quote, has a plan.
But based on his knowledge, his participation in the country, it's no more than fitting that we cast our support with him.
Area well, because he's been in this area for a long time.
But why? Bastian made it clear that he's always had a passion for serving.
To serve, and today is full proof of that. I'm a Bahamian, I have something to contribute, and the Bahamas needs more than complainers, it needs doers.
Hundreds of chants erupting from supporters chanting forward with Fort Charlotte and we're going higher with Sabas. The electorate noting for them it was no other option after outgoing MP Alfred Sayers bowed out earlier this year.
And he's really paved the way for me, and so I'm just gonna. He has a lot of projects that he had ongoing. We've sat down, we've met, so I'm gonna continue a lot of them.
Executive team went with Mr. Sabas Bastian and in a majority of vote for his candidacy.
Following his interview process, the political hopeful noted he did not receive a timeline just yet on when he can expect a nod, but he will remain on the ground and continue to push his presence. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, I'll tell you, of course, that was Wednesday, and so Beyond the Headlines was in Grand Bahama, and so I had to sort of just watch from a distance, and I've not seen, I don't know if it has happened before, but I thought it was the ratification that happened, but I've not seen that level of energy and sort of presentation of a hopeful before the candidates committee. Has it happened before? Also, the question I asked at the top of tonight's show as I gave some leads into the show, we see his record, we know his resume, we know all of that, but is he likely to transfer that into being a member of parliament? We will get in right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough, Howard Johnson. Good evening, gentlemen, to all of you, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Pleasant good night to everyone.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, 242.
Absolutely. Listen, let's jump right in, gentlemen. We saw that. I'll tell you, Grand Bahama was excited, as though they were in Nassau as well. I saw it firsthand. But this really got everyone's attention. No surprise. People know Sabas had an interest and was being, I guess, looked at as a candidate for Fort Charlotte. But when this rolled out on Wednesday, this meeting before the candidate selection committee, I guess it exceeded what people thought he was about to do and what the day was. Don't let me call it a flippin' jump in.
Leslie Miller?
Howard, speak quick.
Shanique, I think that the fanfare and the high energy of Sabaz and his people. I mean, when I watched the video clip and I saw Sabaz going into the PLP headquarters, I thought it was going to be a stampede. You know, Travis Robinson is in trouble. I really believe that Travis Robinson is already in trouble. And he is someone who is a high energy candidate and a high energy person as well. But what Sabaz came out of the blocks with, from what I've seen over the last 24 hours, it looks like it's very compelling, you know, and very high energy. And it's going to be very tough to beat him, especially with his resources on the ground, in addition to that charisma and that high energy. So, Shanique, I also saw on social media a lot of people are weighing in, right? Of course, you know, Bahamians, always opinionated about everything, right? And a lot of people are talking about Sabaz's wealth as a disqualifier for him, putting his hat in the ring, so to speak. And, you know, I just want to, you know, dispel that notion because when I look at Articles 47 and 48 of the Constitution that talk about the qualifications and the disqualifications of persons who want to run for MP, right? Sabaz meets all the criteria. You know, he's a Bahamian, he's over 21, he resides in the Bahamas, he is not under any charge of bankruptcy before the courts, he's not under a sentence of death imposed by a judge. You know, all of these things that the Constitution talks about that would qualify you or disqualify you, Sabaz meets those criteria on their face. And so you know, anybody who is speaking about him being disqualified because just because he is wealthy,
Why do you
it's pretty
suppose? Why do you
discriminatory.
suppose? And any of the panel, really, why do you suppose we have gone there as a people? It's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it with other candidates years ago who are wealthy or born into wealth. Of course, he is someone who has worked his way where he is, and that's to be commended and admired. Why do you think that we as a people have adopted this attitude? Like, oh, well, first of all, it was poor. He would have been ready to thief and rob the cookie jar. But now because he has massive wealth and success, well, he is too wealthy to serve. Where did that come from?
Bahamians hate success by black people. You have to realize that.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what it's all about. Before they patronize you or say something good about you, they wouldn't say nothing at all. That's in our temperament. You know, years ago it was, don't come from over the bar. It ain't no good. That's what the British taught us. Never look up to a black individual that's done good. Try to bring them down to where they should be, which is a hell of a lot lower than where they are today. I think he's the #1 candidate. He's a good man. He's done a lot for the Bahamas. I love what he's done for education. He's put tremendous resources into the University of Bahamas in Freeport. Done a wonderful job. And he and Adrian, partners, they do a wonderful job every year. Do you realize that those two men has done more to assist poor Bahamians in our country than all of the banks and all of the big movers and shakers, white and black alike, combined over the last 10 years? They have surpassed all of them. They make a lot of money, but they give away a lot of money. They assist charitable causes, and they assist Bahamians from all walks of life. And he deserved to be in Parliament to extend that beyond where he's at now and make a national contribution for the welfare and advancement of the Bahamian people. I look forward to working with him when he get ready. Except he better not have some of them little rats in his campaign, because I ain't getting there. So I just hope he, get himself together and work, have a first-class campaign. He's got to be fine. Going to be fine.
Well, I want to thank Shanique Miller tonight, first of all, for giving me jet lag. I'm the last of the gate on this comment. And yeah, she's going to slap me up afterwards, but that's okay. Shanique Miller, what we're now witnessing is what I call messianic politics, meaning that for how long have we waited for someone to just have a sign of turning our country around? I mean, truly turning the country around. This was the type person we had in Celinda and Pinling, if you do recall. This energy that you now feel that's exuding from this individual is similar, which means that we now know for certain that we are at a turning point in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The individual that more than likely, when we talk about the generational gap or the generational difference or the turn in generation, this is the ideal individual to do just that. And so knowing of him for some years when he was just playing basketball in high school at Bahamas Academy and running the bridge with Coach Cassine Penn, I watched the development of this young man. It's truly phenomenal. For those people who are now observing him with some
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Sabas makes a big impression as the candidates committee recommended him as the candidate for Fort Charlotte. His resume is known around the country and beyond, but if ratified, what kind of MP is he likely to be? Also tonight, the PLP rolls out a list of incumbents last night. Are any of them a surprise to you? Also, it's Week in Review Fridays. On Wednesday of this week, the union sent a very strong message, but Prime Minister Davis made the strongest impression, according to many observers. And opposition leader Michael Pintard says, stop the spending and the charades, as he dares the Prime Minister to call for a general election. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening, I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, Island Luck CEO Sabas Bastian confirming that he is prepared to step down as head of the company he co-founded if ratified to run for the Fort Charlotte constituency on the PLP's ticket. His comments came following his appearance before the selection committee. We get this story from Linton Ritchie Jr., and then we come back and take a look at what happened on Wednesday.
Would you be willing to step down like this? Absolutely. That's a done deal. Without politics, I understand.
Gaming boss, CEO of Island Luck, Sebastian Bastian, revealing that he's willing to step down. This response came following his appearance before the PLP's candidate selection committee at the party's headquarters, if it means furthering his political aspirations.
I have over 20 companies and I'm only the CEO of one. I didn't build my businesses by myself. I have more than competent teams to try continuity in those businesses. I'm here to serve. I have a higher purpose now.
Bastian was greeted with swarms of Fort Charlotte residents as he stated his case to PLP executives and hopes to be the face of the party's banner in that constituency ahead of the upcoming general election. Residents and executives of the PLP's Fort Charlotte branch emphasizing that behind them is a man who they say, quote, has a plan.
But based on his knowledge, his participation in the country, it's no more than fitting that we cast our support with him.
Area well, because he's been in this area for a long time.
But why? Bastian made it clear that he's always had a passion for serving.
To serve, and today is full proof of that. I'm a Bahamian. I have something to contribute, and the Bahamas needs more than complainers, it needs doers.
Hundreds of chants erupting from supporters chanting forward with Fort Charlotte and we're going higher with Sabas. The electorate noting for them it was no other option after outgoing MP Alfred Sayers bowed out earlier this year.
And he's really paved the way for me, and so I'm just gonna. He has a lot of projects that he had ongoing. We've sat down, we've met, so I'm gonna continue a lot of them.
Executive team went with Mr. Sabas Bastian, and a majority of vote for his candidacy.
Following his interview process, the political hopeful noted he did not receive a timeline just yet on when he can expect a nod, but he will remain on the ground and continue to push his presence. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, I'll tell you, of course, that was Wednesday, and so Beyond the Headlines was in Grand Bahama, and so I had to sort of just watch from a distance, and I've not seen, I don't know if it has happened before, but I thought it was the ratification that happened, but I've not seen that level of energy and sort of presentation of a hopeful before the candidates committee. Has it happened before? Also, the question I asked at the top of tonight's show as I gave some leads into the show, we see his record, we know his resume, we know all of that, but is he likely to transfer that into being a member of parliament? We will get in right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller, Garth Roseborough, Howard Johnson. Good evening, gentlemen, to all of you, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Pleasant good night to everyone.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, 242.
Absolutely. Listen, let's jump right in, gentlemen. We saw that. I'll tell you, Grand Bahama was excited, as though they were in Nassau as well. I saw it firsthand. But this really got everyone's attention. No surprise. People know Sabas had an interest and was being, I guess, looked at as a candidate for Fort Charlotte. But when this rolled out on Wednesday, this meeting before the candidate selection committee, I guess it exceeded what people thought he was about to do and what the day was. Don't let me call it flippin' jump in.
Leslie Miller?
Howard, speak, quick.
Shanique, I think that the fanfare and the high energy of Sabaz and his people, I mean, when I watched the video clip and I saw Sabaz going into the PLP headquarters, I thought it was going to be a stampede. You know, Travis Robinson is in trouble. I really believe that Travis Robinson is already in trouble. And he is someone who is a high-energy candidate and a high-energy person as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what Sabaz came out of the blocks with, from what I've seen over the last 24 hours, it looks like it's very compelling, you know, and very high energy. And it's going to be very tough to beat him, especially with his resources on the ground, in addition to that charisma and that high energy. So, Shanique, I also saw on social media a lot of people are weighing in, right? Of course, you know, Bahamians, always opinionated about everything, right? And a lot of people are talking about Sabaz's wealth as a disqualifier for him, putting his hat in the ring, so to speak. And, you know, I just want to, you know, dispel that notion because when I look at Articles 47 and 48 of the Constitution that talk about the qualifications and the disqualifications of persons who want to run for MP, right? Sabaz meets all the criteria. You know, he's a Bahamian, he's over 21, he resides in the Bahamas, he is not under any charge of bankruptcy before the courts, he's not under a sentence of death imposed by a judge. You know, all of these things that the Constitution talks about that would qualify you or disqualify you, Sabaz meets those criteria on their face. And so you know, anybody who is speaking about him being disqualified because just because he is wealthy.
Why do you suppose in any of the panel, really, why do you suppose we have gone there as a people? It's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it with other candidates years ago who are wealthy or born into wealth. Of course, he is someone who has worked his way where he is, and that's to be commended and admired. Why do you think that we as a people have adopted this attitude like, oh, well, first of all, it was poor. He would have been ready to thief and rob the cookie jar. But now because he has massive wealth and success, well, he is too wealthy to serve. Where did that come from?
He hates success by black people. You have to realize that.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what it's all about. Before they patronize you or say something good about you, they wouldn't say nothing at all. That's in our temperament. You know, years ago it was, don't come from over the bar. It ain't no good. That's what the British taught us. Never look up to a black individual that's done good. Try to bring them down to where they should be, which is a hell of a lot lower than where they are today. I think he's the #1 candidate. He's a good man. He's done a lot for the Bahamas. I love what he's done for education. He's put tremendous resources into the United Bahamas and Freeport. Done a wonderful job. And he and Adrian, partners, they do a wonderful job every year. Do you realize that those two men has done more to assist poor Bahamians in our country than all of the banks on all of the big movers and shakers, white and black alike, combined over the last 10 years? They have surpassed all of them. They make a lot of money, but they give away a lot of money. They assist charitable causes, and they assist Bahamians from all walks of life. And he deserved to be in Parliament to extend that beyond where he's at now and make a national contribution for the welfare and advancement of the Bahamian people. I look forward to working with him when he get ready, except he better not have some of them little rats in his campaign, because I ain't getting there. So I just hope he, get himself together and work, have a first-class campaign. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
Well, I want to thank Shanique Villa tonight, first of all, for giving me jet lag. I'm the last of the gate on this comment. And yeah, she's going to slap me up afterwards, but that's okay. Shanique Miller, what we're now witnessing is what I call messianic politics, meaning that for how long have we waited for someone to just have a sign of turning our country around? I mean, truly turning the country around. This was the type person we had in Celinda and Pinling, if you do recall. This energy that you now feel that's exuding from this individual is similar, which means that we now know for certain that we are at a turning point in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The individual that more than likely, when we talk about the generational gap or the generational difference or the turn in generation, this is the ideal individual to do just that. And so knowing of him for some years when he was just playing basketball in high school at Bahamas Academy and running the bridge with Coach Cassine Penn, I watched the development of this young man. It's truly phenomenal. For those people who are now observing him with some envy and some jealousy, now's the time to just simply become a disciple. Learn from him. I challenged someone last night, Shanique Miller. I said, as we look at all of the politicians, I am certain that you can tell me of some tale of failure. There's something that they actually failed at. I says, now take a look at this young man and you give me the evidence and you tell me where he has touched anything and failed. And the person could not give me that example.
Yeah, and I'm happy you brought that up because this is a real discussion. It's really a sore point with many people. So we want to delve into it and explore it. What do you think that success and that try and try and try again and then that give back, whether it's the own, and I can say that because I've worked these events or I've hosted these events in the last few years. So the own event that empowers and help people birth their own business ideas, the feeding programs throughout the year, and so many other things. What do you suppose that brings now?
There's assistance to small business,
to small business. What does that do for this shift in the political life of the Bahamas and national life of the Bahamas, as you're saying?
So this is the same conversation that I've witnessed that you've had even with Howard Johnson right here on your show. And he spoke to you about advancing the average Bahamian, making proper investments. All that he has actually said now comes into the one person of Sebastian. He is just simply the example necessary to say that we as Bahamians can actually do this. And so I would encourage all Bahamians once again to take that envy out of your eye, like I said before, remove the jealousy and tell the truth. All political parties need to find people such as this to come forward and assist in making our country greater.
Yeah, quite interesting. Go ahead, Howard.
Shanique, if I can jump in here too, to add to what my colleagues have said already. You know, Sabaz, I don't want him to let his guard down, and I know he's talked about on your show and in public.
Yeah, because Travis, you mentioned the energy. I think when it comes to energy, Travis matches him right there. Travis is right up there with that.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I don't want Sabaz to let his guard down, and I know he's had challenges to be the businessman on the road to being the businessman that he is today. He has experienced his fair share of failure, and so I don't want him to let his guard down and believe that it is going to be, an easy transition to just go from success in business and entrepreneurship to success in politics. I like to use Michael Jordan as the example, the greatest basketball player, arguably, with all the championships and never lost the finals. But as an executive and an NBA owner, his record was terrible. And so what Sabaz needs to do, I believe, for him to be successful as a politician, and Shanique, I know you roll your eyes, but I like to go to history. The Greek philosopher Plato wrote a seminal piece of work called The Republic that underscores all of the systems of government we have in the Western world today. And in it, he said that the people who should lead us and rule and govern us are known as philosopher kings. And there are two aspects that they should have when seeking high office and going into politics. The first thing is that they should have they should view politics and entering politics as a sacred moral duty. And also, number two, as a necessary burden. And viewing it from those two lenses, without anything else, they ain't got teeth. They ain't looking to gain and seize power for their own personal benefit. And so the philosopher kings are the persons who are going to rule and govern us in the right way and in the right manner. And that is what I want Sabaz to hold tight to: sacred moral duty and a necessary burden. Not the fanfare and the fame, enriching yourself and all of those things. And if he does those things, he's going to be okay.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, we are just getting started tonight because let me call a couple names to you as we go to the break. Leslia Miller-Bryce, Bacchus Roll, Pia Glover Roll. We'll tell you exactly why I call those names in a minute. Stay close. We're on the headlines. Week in Review Fridays is back after the break.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Squad and Zone 4 present Keisha Cole performing live Saturday, October 11th at Nassau's Cruise Port. Keisha Cole performing live at the Nassau Cruise Port. $75 general admission and log on DonJulioEvents.com for more information about VIP, table service, and skybox. Keisha Cole, October 11th, Nassau Cruise Port. Security strictly enforced. Keisha Cole performing live at Nassau Cruise Port.
This National Heroes Day, elevate your home with timeless beauty from Grand Bahama Tiles. For 2 days only, Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th, enjoy 20% off store-wide. Discover elegant porcelain, timeless ceramic, and durable natural stone, perfect for every area of your home. Celebrate savings that last a lifetime, only at Grand Bahama Tiles.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
And Zone 4 present Keisha Cole performing live Saturday, October 11th at Nassau's Cruise Port. Keisha Cole performing live at the Nassau Cruise Port. $75 general admission and log on DonJulioEvents.com for more information about VIP, table service, and skybox. Keisha Cole, October 11th, Nassau Cruise Port. Security strictly enforced. Keisha Cole performing live at Nassau Cruise Port.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Jumping right back into the mix, still on politics. This is a heavily political show tonight. Because we catching up, man. Hello, we've been focused on getting Grand Bahama on its feet all week. And so tonight, giving you what you like, right? So let's go into this. Now, we talked about Sebastian Wednesday. That was Wednesday, yes? Wednesday, and that rollout in the meeting before
Thursday.
Thursday.
That's last night. Yesterday afternoon. Yeah. At 2:30.
Thursday afternoon, you all.
Yeah.
It went viral. In fact, Howard did say in the last 24 hours what took place.
A hell of a good show, and he brought all his constituents up.
27 hours, 28 hours ago. But so later that evening, that happened yesterday afternoon. Later that evening, the PLP also, of course, that everything overshadowed this. But get this, just equally as important, the Progressive Liberal Party is shoring up its team for 2026. Here's how that looks. Here are some incumbents that were renominated and I imagine ratified. Can I say that?
They will be ratified.
They were renominated and will be ratified. This happened last evening as well. Leslie Miller Bryce, Seabreeze, Bacchus Roll, South Beach, Pia Glover Roll, Golden Gates, JoBeth Colby Davis, Elizabeth, all of them renominated. Now let's look at that right there for a moment, gentlemen, and what do you know about those incumbents and their performance in their constituencies this term?
Well, for me, when you talk about Pia Global Role, there's always been an exceptional report given about her in the Golden Gates constituency. She is indeed extremely strong. We know the return of the Free National Movement's candidate, returning there, Mr. Folks. And I question why they actually went ahead and challenged Pia with him, taking nothing away from him, but I just felt it was just not a good matchup. When it comes to JoBeth Colby Davis, my sister, my July sister, born the same week as I am, everyone everywhere already knows whoever goes in there, it's going to be a cut and paste. You know, you going in there to get yours. You're going to get that. Oh yeah, that one there, I was actually there for her back to school program.
Chucky for nothing.
It was simply phenomenal. I mean,
what do they call her, Leslie?
I call her Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep telling you that.
That one there has left the other organizations pondering and wondering. I'm still trying to find a candidate to go in there for the Free National Movement. And so I expect a victory there in Elizabeth. Bacchus Roll, though, however, Leslie Miller, Howard Johnson, and Shanique Miller, that one is surprising me only because it seemed like as if he was somewhat slowful, somewhat detached, somewhere distant. But as you drive through South Beach now, you see the work, and I use the word work, that is being done. Even just recently, I was there 2 days ago, and all from the beach coming down, you see evidence of work, land clearing. It's just a transformational situation happening now in South Beach. So you very well better believe that South Beach is strengthening up. Darren Henfield is not going to be a walk in the park for you. You now got to go to work because Bacchus Road is turning things around definitely. And so I don't know who else you mentioned in there. I know it was Elizabeth, it was Golden Gates.
Leslie and Miller Bryce.
Seabreeze. My associate's daughter, how could I forget? And he didn't even speak up for her. Anyhow, I was there for the link up. He's trying to be humble. I was there for the link up. I actually have a home in that particular constituency. And definitely it has been kept clean. One or two residents do have one or two complaints. They're looking forward to seeing even Mr. Leslie Miller to come and address some concerns. But definitely she is stronger than all the rest at this particular time. And I'll continue to encourage her to keep on working as well.
Yeah, I'll jump in here, Shanique, and I think for me, I looked at two of the constituencies in particular. I like to talk about what's in my circle of competence. I have family members and friends that live in the Seabreeze area, a lot of them, and also South Beach is a place that's dear to me because I was once a standard bearer for a major political party down in South Beach, so I have a lot of friends and associates that still reside there. But Miss Leslie Bryce Miller, right? In addition to the work that I've seen that she's done and persons who I know living in the area have talked about her high visibility and the resources that she continues to pour into the constituency and showing love. In addition to that, I also have to speak about the fact that the opponents also enhance your ability to win the seat as well. Excuse me. And the young lady that I saw was ratified by the F&M some weeks ago. I look at that, no disrespect to her, but not seeing her as a known political commodity or anyone with any particular political oomph. I don't see the young lady as someone who can overcome the great work that Leslie has already done in her constituency over the past 4+ years. And so that really is a gift. And in South Beach, I remember seeing on Facebook several weeks ago on my personal timeline as Mr. Henfield began making his introductions into South Beach, I saw a photograph and I was very curious about it on my Facebook timeline. In the photograph, I only saw one person that I recall from my days in the F&M running in South Beach as someone who was involved in that South Beach F&M association, right, or campaign. And it's very troubling. It speaks volumes, and it's very troubling, in my opinion, for Mr. Henfield, because the persons who are the glue that I know, some have passed now, from the scene, but the persons who I know that are still there, who would have formed the glue for the South Beach F&M campaigns and association in the last 20 years, many of them were not there. So
now,
I believe that is troubling for him.
Now, Howard, I want to say, people, candidates now walk about 7 days a week. Well, so let's say 6.5. Perhaps on that day, on that picture you saw, or maybe they were not captured in the photo. Have you spoken with them? Do you know them? Are you still in touch to hear them say otherwise? Because I'm just saying, maybe on that given day and in that frame, they were not captured.
Well, Shanique, like I said at the top of my comments, I still speak with people who are there. I still know people who are across the political divide, PLPs and F&Ms who would have lent me their support if I had gone to the polls in that particular election. And Shanique, they are not working. I saw Heather Hunt there in the picture and some other F&Ms from other areas of Nassau constituencies, but I did not see people who I know are the backbone, die-in-the-wool F&Ms who would have been involved heavily and impactful, knowing the people, the gatekeepers and stakeholders in that community. I did not see them. So, I mean, to your point, you have a great point, but like I said, that particular day, yes, maybe it would have been, but I've spoken to people, and they are not involved in the campaign.
Howard, you're correct, because right here on Beyond the Headlines, you recall there was a schism that took place in South Beach when we're looking at Jamal Moss being the favorite candidate for South Beach, and the disappointment that was actually exercised by the South Beach Association and the introduction of a Darren Henfield. Those people that supported Jamal Moss are still out in the wilderness. The party itself is going to have to find a way to bring those people back to the forefront. But your report of this particular night, sir, is very accurate.
Thank you.
Leslie, I
think overall the PLP has pulled out a good cadre of sitting MPs to offer again to payment people. They should do well. They should in fact win, the ones that I've seen so far. All of them done a pretty good job in representing their people. And I try to tell all of them, including Mrs. Bryce, that be humble and appreciate that people have put their faith in you as their representative. Never be above those who you represent. And always show kindness and love for the people that you have the honor of representing in the halls of Parliament. And be decent to everyone. And I keep pushing that to them, that people give respect when they get respect. people show love when you show them love. Got a lot of work to do. All of them got plenty of work to do. They have the tenacity to do it.
They absolutely do.
You just have to get ready
They
now
do.
and go on the road and do what you need to do to enable you to retain your position in your constituency. And I wish all of you the best.
Yeah, I agree, Leslie, because it's not going to be a walk in the park for most of them. I don't know anything about Bacchus Roll to say anything, and that's it. I don't know anything. Now, Howard, you say you're in touch with people. Maybe you know different. I don't know what kind of a member of parliament he's been and his performance, because you don't see it out there, and I'm not, perhaps because I don't stay on social media for any extended length of time. Perhaps maybe that's why I've missed it. But again, we'll see exactly how that race shapes up and exactly how that looks. Again, we are talking about who the PLP ratified last evening. We've done this for when the FNM ratified, because they've been doing it in sort of increments. And so we have discussed at length those who are newly ratified. So this is not synonymous and new because the PLP did it last night. This is how we take our time and look at their first rollout, exactly. Yeah. And this is what we do for whomever. Now, you may say, well, you ain't talking to COI's candidates because they did it all in one lump sum on a weekend. So we talked about it that Monday and couldn't say no more, really, because it was done in a whole sort of ceremony or event many months ago, maybe even last year if I'm not mistaken. But let's continue moving. Now, do you all think, I know there are some people on this panel who say, listen, there has to be a by-election in Golden Isles. I can't believe I'm even reading this because it is very personal and touching to me to think of the reason for the by-election. But the opposition leader, Michael Pintard, is not letting up on his call for a general election. Pintard says what the government should consider is this: every dollar that they spend on politics is a dollar taken from families struggling to buy groceries, pay light bills, or keep a roof over the heads of Bahamian families.
What the hell one got to do with the other?
The Pintard says that does the leader of the opposition, so he's basically saying, listen, government, don't waste that money. It could be perhaps a few $1 million into just that by-election. Unnecessary, not needed. Go and call a general election and let the Bahamian people vote and decide and see where they stand. Gentlemen, I want to ask each of you, and please jump in right away. Does the leader of the opposition make a strong enough case for the government to move past a by-election and straight into a general election?
Well, Shanique,
go ahead, Howard.
Shanique, it's not Mr. Pintard's case to make. When you look at Article 67, I believe, of the Constitution, paragraph 3, in that it says that the Governor General, whenever there's cause for a by-election, the Governor General will, submit the writs of election and cause there to be an election, with the Prime Minister's blessing, of course, there's going to be an election within 60 days. That's what the Constitution says. So when Mr. Pintard talks about he should go to a general election versus a by-election, I was perplexed by that. But then I realized that my good friend, Mr. Pintard, has no choice but to call for a general election because it's a politically calculating move for him. Now, let me break it down like this. The FNM, under his leadership, has already lost one by-election, right? And we can say with much truth that it's been a very rocky road for Mr. Pintard as leader of the FNM. Yes, he's won 2 elections. He's won 2 elections against former Prime Minister Minnis for the leadership of the party. But people have, once again, like God said, there's been a divide, and people have sat on the sidelines and have also left the FNM. If the FNM goes to another by-election and loses, Mr. Pintard is now 0 for 2, and there's divisions within the FNM. People were upset about the rollout of candidates, as my colleagues have talked about earlier, and so it's one big mess. Mr. Pintard will be unable to, like they say on the streets, bring his people under heavy manners. If they lose the by-election, he is out of there. He is out of there. Now, we'll say, well, there ain't no convention coming up, but they will do what they have to because it will make Mr. Pintard look like he is unable to take the FNM to victory. So I believe it was a calculating political call for Mr. Pintard to make the drum beat for a general election and to throw the Hail Mary 90 yards down the field to score the touchdown as opposed to running the ball to get that first down. And that's my view.
Well, is the FNM in a position to even think about a general election right now? Is that the best thing for that organization?
It has to happen. The Constitution says so.
No, I mean a general election. Like he's calling for one, but is it in their best interest?
Let me fix this. First of all, Shanique Miller, thank you for introducing me to Mr. Howard Johnson. Known of him for some years, and I enjoy listening to him as he makes his contribution. So welcome to the team, sir. It's good to have you with us, as Shanique would say.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Here is what we have here. We have a leader of a noted party in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that is attempting to make his best theatrical performance now.
Yes.
Okay? In so doing, he's doing everything possible to make himself look as if he is the strong one. He is now the Neo in the movie The Matrix. He's going to make this happen. But he's going to make this happen with no evidence of party financial support. We have not seen the money coming to FNM at no given time. The FNM fairs, the Labor Day parades, the conventions, it all is done in a very poor way. We can see poverty written all over these efforts. To go into a by-election, as Howard was mentioning, remember Elizabeth. They lost Elizabeth in the by-election, the PLP won. They went to Abaco, remember North Abaco? They went to the by-election there and they lost that. They went to West Grand Bahama and Bimini and they lost that. So the numbers are not telling at this particular time in the favor of the Free National Movement. They know this. So the more likelihood of them losing is higher than it is actually possible. Now watch this. They were boasting yesterday, Shanique Miller, that their candidate, Brian Brown, which is my beloved cousin, I love him, he's a good man, but guess what? You were telling us that he is going to win in the general election. And then you also came back and said, you know what? Ring the bell. If you're scared, ring the bell. But guess what? We just started to play the song for you. You could ring my bell, because I live in Golden Isles. Ring the bell. See the bell there? See the bell? The bell come in. So if you are strong, you got to be ready. Michael Pintard, all this talk you talking, what the PLP is not doing, let me give you something to do. I said to you from the show, get your team together. Get your candidates in place. You're now saying, bring on the general election, Leslie Miller, and you still don't have a full slate of candidates. You still lack 15 people that you've not yet called. You cannot even find somebody for the Elizabeth constituency because your chairman right now is running scared. Man, get your act together. Homeboy, you're not fooling us. We're going to have a by-election. All Golden Isles going to have a by-election because we need our things, and we need our things now.
Can you all tell that it's Garth who wants that by-election?
Oh, I want that.
Garth and the people, by the way, does Golden Isles feel the way you feel?
Of course they do. I already called my generals, man. My generals are ready. Be ready, be ready. All our roads going to be paved, Shanique Miller. All the flooded places, we can make sure those roads are paved. The park lights, on the sidewalk for the primary school going into Adelaide. These people are ready. And those people who didn't get a little small contract or a little small opportunity, they can hit the campaign trail. They get a couple of dollars for walking up and down. They are excited.
So y'all are pressing for this by-election.
Oh, we must have that.
Because Golden Isles must benefit and have a smile on their
And
face.
we're telling the Prime Minister, please, for God's sake, don't disrespect us. Bring us our by-election. This is our time. We've been waiting for this. And now it has come to save us.
Leslie, if you have a response and a comment to weigh in, Leslie, you will be the first voice after the break. They'll go anywhere. Beyond the headlines is backward after this. I tell you, one of them want a by-election. I said that.
We have in that.
We have to be mindful that as much as we want touristic development, what impacts the fishery? Over-coastal development, destruction of mangroves, overzealousness of the industry. We have a new movement called do-it-yourself fishing. That is anglers who come to the Bahamas, they don't engage in hiring a guide. Because of this approach, you are going to have people who are going to exhaust the resources.
This is an industry that's preserved. It should be for Bahamian guides only. We have the DIYs coming in here and they're destroying our flats.
We try not to overfish certain areas, so we'll fish a certain area and we'll back off for a while because we don't want the fish to feel too much pressure.
It's not just using the buzzwords of the environment and the ecology
The tourists can be educated that the more you support local ownership, people are doing it obviously the right way, the more the economic circulation in the communities.
I think the most critical thing is accountability, and that accountability by way of legislation, both the act and regulations to govern fly fishing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
I look at conservation efforts and the regulation that I've seen to protect the industry that's in the developed world. All of those jurisdictions have implemented strong regulation to protect their fisheries. We are way behind, but we do have a movement and a consciousness. We know where we need to be. Those are our resources, and we have to make an exerted effort to protect it, because that's the only gift that we have been given. And if we don't protect that, then we lose everything.
Building the lodge, I understood clearly the mission to continue what my father started. From this lodge, it has served as the headquarters. We finally got legislation passed in 2016, and it legitimized the guiding profession. We pushed to get a program established into BAMSI in the training of the next generation of guides, but it extends way beyond that.
We need more Bahamians in the industry who are doing the research to provide the information to the industry, that is to fishermen and to everybody who benefits from the resources.
We don't know the resources in this country. We grew up just hearing about sun, sand, and sea.
It is going to be through education and awareness, whether it's within our schools, whether it's in our communities, to conserve the environment, that is going to sustain the fly fishing industry.
Well, the future of fly fishing in the company, I think fly fishing is a very, very unique spot. I think it's going to get better because the guides are now being all certified. They're all getting proper knowledge of handling and how to run the whole system.
If you're a youngster and you want to get into this, it's a job like any other job. You got to live it. You got to love it.
Young entrepreneurs coming in, you want that kind of interest. You want that kind of drive and desire. You want to carry that. You want to become the product.
This National Heroes Day, elevate your home with timeless beauty from Grand Bahama Tiles. For 2 days only, Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th, enjoy 20% off store-wide. Discover elegant porcelain, timeless ceramic, and durable natural stone, perfect for every area of your home. Celebrate savings that last a lifetime, only at Grand Bahama Tiles.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. And of course, as we were going to the break, both Howard and Garth weighed in on the call for a general election rather than a by-election. Garth speaks here for the people of Golden Isles. It's not the first time. He's been saying it now since it happened. He's been saying that the people of Golden Isles want a by-election. The leader of the opposition say, no, not necessary. The fact that an election is looming, a general election, well, just do that. Just do that. Leslie, I will move forward. If you have nothing to add to it, I can move forward to the next story.
First and foremost, I want to again pay my dear respects to my fallen brother and friend. And to say that the leader of opposition is between a rock and a hard place, almost a mountain and a hard place. How could the leader of opposition says that you should not have a by-election? My brother, let me remind you, in 1992, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram forced the by-election in Grand Bahama. And I was there campaigning on the PLP side, and this first rally he said, who win the by-election is going to win the general election. You indicated that the government has to spend the same amount of money on the by-election as the general election. I don't know where you get that thought from in your head. By-election has nothing to do with a full-fledged election. We know that no one is really into you as such to pour money into the F&M. It's not happening. The big money changes in Lightfoot Key, Old Fort Bay and the like, and the big boys on Bay Street, Odis, and those who now live in Lightfoot Key, has not really pumped any money into your organization. In fact, I dare say that you've been getting more money from PLP supporters than you got from your own supporters, to be frank with you. But there has to be a by-election. The people demanding a by-election.
Yeah,
you have to put your candidates together. You told us months ago that you were going to finish it within 2 weeks. 2 months is gone now and you still haven't put your candidates together. And in Grand Bahama, I'm told that you are in trouble down there, depending on who the PLP send. You may not be in Parliament after the bell is rung. Please, let us go forward with by-election. The Constitution says so. The people is demanding it. And as leader of opposition, you should not be afraid of any by-election.
Yeah, but Mr. Miller, didn't you tell me about how they chided Minnis for calling the election early?
Yes, they did.
So
Minnis called it early. You know, and I don't know why you would wish for the Right Honorable Prime Minister to fall in his footsteps by calling it early. For what reason? There's a by-election. Our dear friend and brother has passed, and in his honor, his seat should be filled within the time frame allocated by the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You want to be a leader and you don't want to stick with the Constitution. How could you be a leader if you don't want to go to... Huh? This is a real country we got, you know. This ain't no Mickey Mouse country, you know. No, this ain't no games, man. I know you're an actor. You ain't no Sir Sidney. But, you know, do a little better than this, please. So, let's get it on.
Shanique, the last thing I would say too is this. What Mr. Pintard needs to do is control what you can control. Based on the Constitution, that's Philip Brave Davis' decision to make. That has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with him.
So what you need to do is try whatever's happening, you know, even if it's a facade, try to get your people ready for whatever it's called. But it's not your call. So get your people under them heavy manners that I talked about and prepare yourself for a by-election. That's what's in front of you. Control what you can control. Prepare for the by-election and leave all that other stuff to who the Constitution gives the power to.
Again, we have fondest memory of my family member. My family
Wonderful
member.
Human being.
Absolutely. My family member who...
Don't berate him like this, you know. It's an insult to me.
No, he deserves that respect.
Absolutely. And family. Don't berate him. By talking about you can't have a by-election.
No.
In his honor, we can have a by-election. You don't like it, then don't compete. Go home. That's all I can tell you. Go back to Freeport and sit down then. You know somebody can take your post when you lose, and that's what you're afraid of. Be a man.
On Wednesday, you all saw downtown as scores of public servants abandoned their posts and took to Bay Street in protest. The large-scale demonstration bringing traffic to a near standstill was a unified call for action. We get all the play-by-play from Linton Ritchie, and then we come back and talk about how it all played out.
What began as a peaceful walk quickly descended into chaos outside the House of Assembly. Hundreds of public servants marching in solidarity, their frustrations boiling over. Authorities struggling to keep order as members of the Bahamas Public Services Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, and other allies broke through barriers, shutting down Bay Street. The commotion outside Parliament, union leaders say, was just a glimpse of the frustration felt across the public sector over what they call, quote, empty promises.
We have quite a number of accommodation issues, address these issues concerning monies.
Teachers have better working conditions, increased salaries and benefits.
Last month, the government announced that some public servants would not receive their salary increments in September as planned, promising that the pay adjustments would reflect in December and be retroactive. But that explanation did little to calm workers, many pointing out that senior management's increases were already in their accounts.
First of all, we have to define what was middle management. The first assistant secretaries got more money than the undersecretaries. Now, I don't know how that does work.
BPSU Vice President Deborah Folks not holding back, saying entry-level officers, even with 2 increments, can't keep their heads above water.
You know how much their incremental value is? $450, which means that you say you're giving them 2 increments, that's $900.
As public servants chant and clash with authorities, union leaders Ferguson and Wilson pushed their way into Parliament, returning minutes later alongside Prime Minister Philip Davis.
I'm trying to help all of you. You all will be paid, and the payment will be before Christmas. You will be paid before Christmas.
Now, following Prime Minister's Philip Davis' address, hundreds of public servants are still gathered outside of the House of Assembly, as they say, with the broad timeline given by the Prime Minister to when they will receive their monies. They deemed the short message unsatisfactory.
And my back is against the wall. You understand me? I was depending on the little change, eh? Ring the bell!
Before Christmas is tomorrow. Before Christmas is November. So be Pacific.
Prime Minister Philip Davis assuring protesters that he will meet with Wilson and Ferguson by early next week to iron out their mounting issues. Failing that, union leaders say they'll be back to pounding the pavement. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, hundreds of public servants were backed by figures from the opposition political parties during that protest, but critics are questioning their motive. We get this story from Jose Etienne.
Political leaders joining hundreds of disgruntled public servants as they staged a protest on Wednesday morning, which gripped parts of Bay Street. Opposition voices say they're fighting alongside workers who feel overlooked as it relates to government-promised salary increases that have yet to reach their bank accounts.
We are proud of the Bahamian people standing up against a government that's not working in their interests.
This morning's demonstration was familiar territory for Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain, who says the protest was inevitable due to pent-up frustrations.
When a government is traveling around the world and boasting about their travel and living their best life and partying, I think that the people should be angry if they're not getting their pay and not getting their pay on time and not getting everything that was promised to them. And so I think that this is long overdue.
And amid concerns that this morning's protest could have been an unnecessary disruption to government services, Bain says the Davis administration should take accountability.
What cripples government service is not dealing with our civil servants on time and not giving them what they're supposed to get. If you sign industrial agreements, then you should live up to the industrial agreement. Don't brag about signing 15 industrial agreements if the people then have to come and fight you to get what you signed for.
The protest crowd was particularly filled with teachers who clamored for their pay increases, and it comes as some educators have reportedly resigned amid an already concerning teachers shortage.
Teachers are out here because our children are short on teachers. We are not doing sufficient to provide them with a package that sustains them. And even with the meager salary that they are getting, we are not honoring our commitment to pay them when we say they will pay them.
Compounding their growing frustrations.
Public servants are out here because they're concerned that the government has brought back a number of retirees, paying them 2 sets of salary, paying them their pension from the past when they were in the public service, and now paying them the salary that they're getting currently. And then there's a huge gap between senior staff members and the average public servant who are out here, again, who have worked very hard over the course of the years.
But let's address the elephant in the room. There's concern that political leaders and some of their ratified candidates were there simply to secure political mileage from the plight of civil servants. But Pintart says that's not the case.
It's disrespectful to the unions because they have had challenges with our former administration and they have challenges with this administration. So this is not about politics. It isn't as if we were perfect in addressing all of their issues. And what did they do? They voted us out.
Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, there you have it. Leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, the leader of the COI, Lincoln Bain, both speaking out. Of course, we saw those union presidents. We also saw Prime Minister Davis come in there and promise. This is the money that was promised to help upgrade the salary scales of the public service, yes?
But it was not negotiated.
No. I'm saying this is something the Prime Minister promised to do.
Yes.
And this is the very same thing. But I'll tell you how that played out in Grand Bahama. People were, in fact, many of them feel as though, wait a minute, you are getting this money that is not a part of the bargaining unit.
Exactly.
What is the argument? This is what the people of Grand Bahama are saying, many of whom who are waiting for real tourism and real opportunity to return to help that economy rebound. They've said it. It went viral in Grand Bahama as well, but for an entirely different reason. Gentlemen, your take on how this all played out on Wednesday and what people perhaps, how they talked about this and sort of the perspectives they gave wherever you were.
Well, several things come to my mind, and one of the things that I'm reminded of is when they threw the mace out of the window. I was actually there at that particular day, and I made mention that the effect of what took place would only last maybe 3 to 4 days, at best a week. And I think a day or two later we were talking about Junkanoo and the split in Junkanoo, and no one remembered. All of this chaos that we're now seeing downtown is going to actually dissipate. As soon as that money arrives, this conversation is going to be mute and void. What I am seeing here, though, is the opportunistic behavior of political entities. When they notice that there's a crack in the wall, rather than trying to assist in coming with a plan to say, you know what, I have a plan that can fix this, all they simply do is they're grabbing a chisel, grabbing a jackhammer and trying to widen the wall and say, look at how big this hole is. I'm the only one that can fix this. Give me an opportunity to fix it. But they are the same ones who are actually putting a hole in the wall. And I say that because if you look at the individuals who are now going and attacking the government, the F of them, by far, you don't even have your act together. You're talking about a nation, fixing a union. You got to be kidding me, man. You can't even fix your party. And so I can't listen to him. So he's off the record. The other individual, I think they're making every attempt, and their party consists of a number of local people who are probably union members, and they're making every attempt. But at the same time, once again, we have not gotten any plan that looks like a national development plan that can actually work. Everything is just hypothetical. I think it's just simply vapor. And I feel that right now, Shanique Miller, when it comes to December, all of these people are going to be eating turkey, eating ham. I'm looking forward to the Black Friday. I bet you they get that money before Black Friday, Leslie Miller. I bet you they get that. They go shopping on Black Friday, and they go shopping for Christmas. And this conversation, like I said, is going to be mute and void. Howard Johnson.
Yeah, Shanique Miller, I feel for, our brothers and sisters in the public service. I know a lot of them are struggling. When you compare pay in the Bahamas and in most of the developing world to a place like the United States where I reside, it's like night and day. And I also believe that it is a fundamental tenet of democracy for the people to assemble themselves and petition the government, whether it's via a protest like this one, from time to time to seek redress for grievances. However, the grievances have to be, above board. And if these things were things that were promised without needing to be negotiated or a part of an industrial agreement, etc., then I would have to err on the side of using my personal finance hat. Public servants, when you are working with a limited amount of money, you have to practice fiscal responsibility. Don't wait for big brother government to give you what they promise you. And if they promise you, yes, you want what was promised to you. You want what you feel is well-deserved. But at the same time, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And what you have in hand now is what you have to be a good financial steward of. Manage your money properly, handle it well, and make sure you can live and not have to rely on anything that is not the bird in the hand.
I'm all for the public servants, those at the top as well as those at the bottom, being paid fairly, being paid for the hours that they work. But, the Prime Minister was man enough to confront them head on. He went into the crowd, said, I'm sorry, it didn't happen, and make sure you get it before Christmas. And he didn't negotiate that, you know. He was the one who came up with the idea that because things are so tough in New Providence and the Bahamas at this time, especially with the high costs of living with the rental apartments and with the food store, that we should go beyond what was negotiated. And he did that. And he did it with parity, with fairness. But as usual, the political pundits jump on everything they can ever. You throw it out there, they go on with it. Here was a minister of the government who was under the F&M. The first thing they did when they won the government was fire 200 individuals that were being trained at NIB. I'll never forget that. Sent them home. No pay or nothing else. They were so careless and hateful in their regard to get rid of people that the former government, the Christie government, was trying to help Bahamians to get up the ladder to be a part of the public service. They fired every single person that was in those programs, almost 1,000 persons. They let go immediately upon taking office. They were F&Ms and PLPs, by the way. We didn't know who they voted for. They were young people who were trying to get into the public service in a decent way to help themselves for a better life. You all let them go. You were around the table when that happened. You did nothing. You said nothing. The CIO guy with this $100,000 very Bahamian. If you all believe in E.T., then believe in him. But you're not going to go to space on Bahamas Air. Make that clear to you. Bahamas Air can't take you where E.T. and those guys are. Get real, please. I'm sure you're going to get your money. There's no need to raise hell as much as you did. And one thing, the Prime Minister, if he gives his word, he's going to come through on it. You can depend. And that's when you really needed it. For that Black Friday and to pay those children's school fees come January.
Well, actually,
that's when you need the money.
You needed to give yourself a step up the next rung on that ladder. That's what, be smart with that, as Howard says all the time in his financial advice. Listen, I want to say this very, very quickly. We have a beautiful special coming up for you. It's going to be from very, very soon this month throughout the election season. You want to stay tuned for that. You're going to be seeing the promos and stuff out for that. So certainly look out for it. It's going to be quite amazing. We're going to delve in with each candidate, each constituency. Really going to be quite super. And so stay tuned for that. I thank you so much, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough, Howard Johnson. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you, and hello Freeport. I had a great time hanging out with you this week, and certainly look forward to another time that we can continue highlighting your issues. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Have a great and wonderful holiday, and have a blessed weekend, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited.